Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Sammy, United People's TV. The reason I'm smiling is because I'm pretty sure today could be the day. Today could be the day where the glory comes and there's no carnage on here. I can see the Facebook chat. Good morning to you, Lisa Jensen. You're there this morning. I can see the YouTube chat. We're here. I'm not wearing blue. I'm wearing red. Got a hat on though because it's freezing. Morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Sammy, United People's TV. I've got a good feeling about today's show. I've really got a good feeling. Let's see how it goes. Famous last words and all that. So there will be some sort of chaos at some point. But we are going to speak a bit more about the plans of Ratcliffe. We're going to speak because how it seems like we as a fan base have come from one extreme to the other when it comes to owners. Owners who just don't do anything, owners who just lurk in the shadows, to somebody who only owns 25% of our club, or 29% if we're being specific, who seemingly is going at a rapid pace. Yes, Atna, I do think this is the one, pun intended. Man United dropping a collab with Stone Roses this morning. But I'm going to run through all the live story. I'm going to run through all the stories in today's live show. We're going to speak about Old Trafford. We're going to speak about sporting director. Not too much, but it feels like we're at a situation where it's kind of like what do you call it? Like a plug or a block. And as soon as this ratification happens, it's all going to happen. Who's here from the member gang? Let's have a quick look. David, good morning to you. You're saying your first time you've been able to watch live for ages when I see you there. Natasha, we've got Watto Nizam, we've got DP Kevin, and you're there. Hope your mouth, or was it your mouth? It was your mouth. Hope it's feeling better. Probably isn't. Saeed, we've got T, Paula, Stevie, Josh, you're there, Haley, Mick, Matt, lots of you joining in. And Dean, good morning to you, dude, man. You just gifted 5 memberships. Let's get a little gong out to kickstart the show. Will it work? Right, okay, let's go. This could be the day. Who's here on Facebook? Because I've got the Facebook chat working this morning. Apologies about yesterday. I don't know what was going on, but I fixed it today. Good morning to you, Lee. We've got Sion, we've got Fatez, we've got Christian, John, we've got Magai, we've got Mark, Katz. Lots of you tuning in. Today's going to be a good day. Feels like a good day. Well, not too good because I've got to wear a hat indoors, but, as good as it can be. Oh, look at that. Pyro and Danny, you both gifted 5 memberships each. So we'll get a little 10-1, little combo. Wait for it. Fergie.
I can't believe it. Football.
You know what I'm going to do? I was thinking about this, by the way. So I think we can keep these notifications, we can keep these celebrations for the memberships. We can keep updating them. And then maybe I can get some of you involved as well in shoots. So we've got Fergie there, football, bloody hell. We can change what that is, maybe every week, every 2 weeks. I can ask you in the members chat in Discord what one do you think we should use, what audio clips. I was thinking about that. Keep it fresh and engaging the whole time. That'll be fun. Let's go into the show. That was a long old intro. What are we at? 4 minutes. Haven't even spoken about anything yet. It's just I'm a little bit excited because I can't tell you the amount of mental toil there has been in these last 2-3 weeks in getting this software set up. It was a big move that I wanted to do, and it feels like the majority of the hard work is done. It's like all the boxes have been moved house, and now you're just unpacking, and now it's starting to look like what you wanted it to look like. But look, let's get into the show. I want to start with this because this got announced earlier. Jesse Lingard moving to FC Seoul in South Korea. You could say it's a strange end to his career. You could also say it's a bit of a soul-destroying move. Sorry. No, Carl, I've not got the chat one in one screen. There's 2 screens, so it's still not perfect, but you can't see this. But Jesse Lingard moving to FC Seoul in South Korea. That's going to be the end to his career. I wish him the best of luck. I really do. I do think he was one of those. I'm not saying he was the problem and the only problem, but I think Jesse Lingard felt more important than he was at Manchester United. And I think a lot of players had that mindset because of the money they were on. Like, money is in the majority of jobs in life, money is kind of an indicator of your level, isn't it? If somebody's on a bigger salary than you, invariably they've kind of got bigger responsibilities. In the majority of the times, they're more important to the business, the core functionality of that business. I don't think that was the case with a lot of players at Manchester United. I do wish the best to Jesse Lingard, but I think he's going to... I'm trying to think of... Was it United? Remember when he had that really good loan spell at West Ham, and we should have sold him after that. But I can't remember at that point whether it was United who rejected West Ham's advances or whether they didn't offer enough money, and then he rejected move to Forest. I think it all got a bit weird. Anyway, I remember it being weird. Good luck to Jesse. I really do mean that. Good luck to him. But yeah, let's move on. Something we found out yesterday, right? We found out yesterday is that Manchester United have got Nottingham Forest. We've got Forest in the FA Cup 5th round, 28th of Feb, away from home. They beat Bristol Rovers last night on penalties. So it could have been Bristol Rovers away. Let's find out. Free Sheep, you're saying you got an English exam in an hour. What are you doing here, mate? Come on. Go and read some Shakespeare. Depends what English exam. If you're doing English lit, you might do that. I think I did What did I do? I can't remember what my A-levels were now. I think it was English language and literature. History and geography. I think that was my 3 A-levels. And then general studies, I got a U in, but it's general studies. I don't know what general studies is. I think it's like an extension of citizenship. Anybody ever do citizenship at school? I didn't do very well in that one either. I wasn't very good at school. All worked out in the end. Well, I was good at school. I just didn't want to be there. Anyway, that happened last night. And kind of, was it Bristol City, Bristol Rovers? Potato. Don't remember. Anyway, this happened last night. Aston Villa got... Anybody watch the game? Aston Villa got pretty much turned over by Chelsea. It's probably one of the best performances from Chelsea this season. That goal from Enzo Fernandez was an absolute belter of a free kick. But that's now... What has Aston Villa's results been? They lost against Newcastle at home. They drew against Chelsea in the FA Cup, and that was the replay. Then they lost against Chelsea there. They beat Sheffield United 5-0. But there's not going to be many times that we've been able to... In fact, this has to be one of the first times I can say this as a United fan over the last 18 months or so. This is going to be a game where United genuinely have got a bit of an advantage when it comes to the fatigue of the players. Because for the first time in a long time, we're going into it because we're crap. Oh no, to be fair, that's not crap. That's the FA Cup replay, so that's actually different. So because they had that extra game in there, we've now got a full week's rest from the weekend, which was, let's be honest, the West Ham game was, because we controlled it, the players will probably be slightly less fatigued from it. Wolves, we had to chase the entire way through. It was a full tilt game. Because West Ham, we controlled it, there's less physical requirements for that sort of game. Now, Aston Villa, I think is it Concert is going to be missing. I'm going to run through my starting 11 tomorrow. I don't know whether Pau Torres played at the back. I was kind of reading through some Aston Villa fans' comments. No doubt they're going to be better at the weekend than they were there. All right, that's not what I'm suggesting. But certainly Aston Villa's peak seems to be a few weeks ago. It's whether they can bounce back and recover from that. Let me see what people are saying on Facebook, and I'll head down to YouTube as well, because now I can separate. Yes, apologise for that yesterday. It's really annoying. Nick, you're saying this game against Villa, genuine 6-pointer. It feels important because we're 8 points behind them in 4th, and if we lose, we're 11 points behind Villa. It doesn't mean it's impossible, but you're just making things difficult for yourself. Whereas you win that, and we creep up to 5 points behind Villa, and then United have just got to do it one game at a time now. And thankfully, we've only got one game a week because we're crap. And then we see what you're saying down there. BC, you're saying Konsa's going to be a massive loss for Villa. Rob, you're saying you still say I'll be happy with the draw. I would say now I probably would be happy with the draw, but it doesn't mean I definitely would be going into the game. But yeah, that happened yesterday. What do I want to run through now? I've got some cracking talking points I want to speak through. Did you see this? I don't know whether I'm going to get shut down for copyright on this, and I hope I won't. But if I do, then you know exactly why I did. Did you see this little clip that came out? This was Diogo Dalot's block against West Ham, and look at Garnacho's reaction to it. That's the ball going forward. There's Diogo. Bam! Look at that. Loves it. Now, you might say that's kind of you're looking into this too much. And I probably am. But that... I don't know how to describe it. It's just... That there is, it looks like a direct reflection in my eyes of what I think Martinez brings to the team that kind of not many other people do. That sort of chest pump, everyone running up that, doing that to each other, celebrating defensive tackles like they're goals. I suppose it shows they give a shit. And that in itself is something that's been a bit of a problem at United for a long old time. Oh man, look at that. Tom, you just gifted 5 memberships, and Ethan, you gifted 5 as well. Just get a little Fergie 10 out. Football, what the hell?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell.
I can't tell. I can't believe it. Because things just seem to be working. And I can actually just enjoy the show for today. Famous last words. I really am tempting fate here. Yes, Starlord, it is absolutely passionate doing. It's horrible out there. I ain't going out there today. What's that about? Pyro, you're saying, Sam, you should be... Thanks for Super Chat, dude. You're saying you should be the one interviewing Haaland instead of Goldbridge. Or Goldfish, as you like to call him. Look, quite a few people have been asking me about that. First of all, it's... In isolation, regardless of who it was, it's a good reflection that Manchester United, as a football club, is opening its doors to independent... I hate the word fan channel, and I hate the word influencer. I like to think of myself as a digital journalist. I went and I did my diploma. I did shorthand to 100 words a minute. I tried to get a job in the newspaper, but you couldn't get one. I worked at Wimbledon local newspaper, going to the fire station, doing some... Oh man, that was awful. Like, everybody who wants to be a journalist has got to do that sort of local stuff first. And then my way in was starting my own website, thepeoplesperson.com, and then that just sort of grew into United People's TV. No, John, not content provider. I'm not Netflix. I'm definitely not Netflix. I like to consider myself a digital journalist. Goldbridge, he's got his own path, and I don't like a lot of what he does. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think he reflects well on our football fan base. It's just a personal opinion, right? I mean, you go and ask him, but he's probably too busy doing a watch-along of a Man City game, or a watch-along of an Arsenal game, or a watch-along of a Liverpool game. It's fine. He's chosen his path, but he's gone for quantity rather than quality. And I hope that at some point, these opportunities are opened up to United People's TV. Staffy. Digital journalist, you're a YouTuber. Yeah, I'm a YouTuber. But as you can see with the content I'm trying to bring to United People's TV, I'm trying to elevate the level of content that exists on United People's TV. The deep dives, really well-researched, higher quality editing and content. Ian, yeah, we did get access to Fred. I didn't have the ability to interview him myself. I sent over the questions and then we got that access, but it was limited. I've spoken to the club before. I'm trying to get an interview right now with somebody who works at Manchester United. I'm not going to tell you who it is because it hasn't happened yet, and it might not happen. But it'll be cool at some point in the future if we get the opportunity to interview a player, and I think I'd do it justice as well. Someone sent a super chat. Let me read this one out. Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate this. What are you saying? Harry's saying, Sir Jim is a smart businessman that understands business law, agreements Glazer could literally put United into financial interest with no cap from bank. United could end up in the hands of huge hedge funds. Let me know what you mean with that one there, mate. Can I pull that up on screen here? No, I can't. I was trying to figure out how to do that. Super chats, because I had them on here and then it busted all the other alerts and all the other sort of, you can see all the labels up here. They weren't quite working. But look, Jim Ratcliffe knows what he's doing with finance. The finance is a big, and you know what, that's going to be a really interesting point for a little bit later in the show, is I want to speak through this, right? This isn't for just now. We're going to speak about this in about 15 minutes or so. Would you, if you had the opportunity, would you give Manchester United money if it meant that you got a stake back in the club and it meant that that money was going to be used to fund the new stadium? That's the interesting conversation I want to have a little bit later. And there's some comments there from the Manchester United Supporters Trust who have always been pushing for this. Some sort of fan ownership of Manchester United. Maybe that's the method and the way in for it. It's an interesting one. What's going down here? Should Ratcliffe extend the disabled area of Old Trafford, says Michael? I'm pretty sure that United, was it last year? Was it the year before? Extended the disabled section to meet, I think, minimum Premier League requirements. So I think it was more they needed to do it rather than they wanted to do it. But it depends on what happens at Old Trafford. Like there cannot be every single question needs to be asked, Michael, about that, about the scale of Old Trafford, about whether you redevelop it. There's not one question that isn't going to get answered. It's an unenviable task, I think, building a new stadium or renovating Old Trafford. It's so ridiculously big. Look at this, by the way. I was gonna do a little reaction to the leaked kit that happened yesterday, but if you want to go and watch that, I put it on Instagram about 20 minutes ago and also on TikTok. You can go and watch it on there, and we can keep the conversation here to other stuff. Look at this. Might have to get a bucket hat now. I don't know whether I've got the head shape for a bucket hat. In fact, I know I don't have the head shape. I probably don't have the head shape for a bobble hat either. I might have to get that jacket. Let's find out. Raver hat. I swear, if I was 18 in the 90s, I'm not sure I would have survived. You would have had like the peak. You would have had peak rave culture, Prodigy, Oasis, Blur. Just 90s would have been a madness if you were 18. Would have been for me anyway. And now the video I did yesterday was this. Quite enjoyed doing this video, actually. So the video I did was about Ratcliffe's kind of approach to, I mean, I'm saying Ratcliffe's. Maybe this isn't just coming from Jim's head. The reality is he's going to be employing people and people in power so that they take that responsibility. But this concept here was broken down into three things, right? Number one, a focus on youth. A focus on not youth, but younger signings. No longer are we going to go and sign Casemiro, who's 30. Or Varane. Look, maybe you might sign a Varane type signing. He was 28 when we signed him from Real Madrid, but his best years were at Real Madrid, right? And this should be what United are doing. Somebody like Branthwaite, somebody like Olise, whether it's those two or not, it doesn't really matter, but it's more the fact that both of them are Premier League proven, which I do think you can't overestimate the importance of it, but I think it is important. Because it does minimise certain risks. But anyway, Jared Branthwaite, 21. Olise, 22. These are sort of Haaland at 21. Rasmus Haaland is... there was not one point where you could pull up a video of me on this channel saying I was worried about Rasmus Haaland. I always reiterated his work rate is there, and more importantly, his positioning was always pretty much spot on. He was making the right runs. He was naturally moving as a centre forward should. Problem is, he didn't have the confidence. He was playing in a dysfunctional team. And now that he's starting to get that confidence, and now that we're starting to get some better patterns, you're seeing a lot more from Rasmus Haaland. So I was never worried about that. And it really seems like United got it right with Rasmus Haaland compared to so many signings that we've made. And we need to make more of them. And that video there yesterday was speaking about the emphasis on signing younger players, but also the importance of data and how Man United are really starting to get to grips with that. And I explained it in a lot more detail in that video about what Dominic Jordan is doing as like the head of data science, and others that have been brought in to work underneath him. And yeah, I think it's an interesting video. I think so anyway. I mean, of course, it's my video. I think it's interesting. I'm a little bit biased. Gungshi, the main man himself. I need to get like a special Gungshi. A special button for just when Gungshi comes in. This has literally been named after you, dude. I need to get you on a podcast at some point soon. You're still not in the Discord, though, are you? You're a very private man. It's completely up to you. But you are a cracking part of this community, dude. Free Gold, you're saying there's a United tax because we're a soft touch. There's a United tax because there's no strategy when it comes to United in the market. Omar Barada will change that. He is the man at the top of the tree now when it comes to these signings. I imagine, I suppose it depends how involved he would be. Actually, probably wouldn't be at CEO, would he? He would push that down to the sporting director. It would be down to the sporting director to lead the negotiations on signings. But as you will see in the deep dive video that is coming out very, very soon. I wonder if I can... Let me see if I can give you a little teaser here. 1 second. I hadn't actually thought about that. But I think it would be quite cool if I do this. Let me pull this up. Yeah, it would be cool. Let me see if I can get this done. Manchester United. Right. You are going to get a sneak preview here, ladies and gents, that no one else is going to see. So the only people who are going to see this are you lot in the live show now. Let's see if we can get that up there. Will this work? Well, we're about to find out. This right here is going to have me in the way of it, so you're going to have to forgive me for that. But this right here, ladies and gents, is the full Omar Barada deep dive that will be coming out on this channel in the next 10 days or so. But this is the introduction, all right? See what you think. Manchester United have just gone and stolen Omar Barada from City to become their new CEO, and it's a massive coup for Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS. Barada was an integral mind behind City's rise to dominance over the last decade, having risen through the ranks at Barcelona for 7 years during their most dominant period in modern history, to become the City's Group Chief of Football Operations, overseeing the running of 13 clubs. We're going to explore Barada's career from his beginnings in Barcelona through his success at City and explain to United fans exactly why they should be excited about his appointment. Best in class? Meet Omar Barada. Things are about to be very different at Manchester United. What? Yes! This is going to be a seriously good one, people. I'm telling you, the levels are getting raised on United YouTube. I think just like it just kind of it evolves over time, right? Robert, it's horrible hearing my own voice, but it doesn't really matter. Content evolves over time, right? And live content has been the core of it for a long, long time. I think the shift is now going back towards quality content. And I can see that. And I'm going full steam ahead down that path. And now, whether it's right or not, well, I suppose I'll find out. I can see
Omar Barada was born in Paris.
I can see exactly why so many channels haven't done it, because it's very difficult, it's very time consuming, it's expensive, but it's worth it when you get stuff like that. So fingers crossed you all enjoy it. Fingers crossed it goes to a wider audience, and United People's TV can become known as the place to go for this sort of in-depth, higher quality content. That's what I want to be known for. That's what I want us to be known for. Yeah, it's fun. I can see where I want 2024 to go for United, and well, not for United People's TV, but also hopefully United will actually be good, because you can combine those two things. It'd be quite nice. Now, the exit that we spoke about from United, I think we spoke about this, a week ago, 10 days ago. Robin Sadler, he is the head physio at the club. So we know already, what exits have we had confirmed so far? Richard Arnold, Robin Sadler, who's the head physio. John Murtough is going to be... I mean, at best, as far as he's concerned, he'll get a different job in a different role at United. The reality is, it's probably going to be that he leaves the club. And I think, well, I've spoken about this before, but we are witnessing in real time here INEOS moving at a rapid pace. Still not got that 25% takeover confirmed yet, but things are moving fast. The sporting director, right? I've got a photo of Ashworth there and Paul Mitchell. Now, David Ornstein said it's very unlikely that Paul Mitchell becomes the sporting director of the club. And I don't think he was ever really sort of linked to it, if I'm being completely honest. I thought it always felt that if Paul Mitchell came in, it would be specifically as a head of recruitment, and which we've not really heard much about, and still haven't. Any conversation has been around sporting director. And the suggestions are that Ratcliffe, as soon as this ratification is official, as soon as it's like rubber stamped, he's got the keys, we could get an announcement. I guarantee you what's going to bloody happen. Got my surgery on Tuesday. Well, I don't know whether it's Tuesday morning, but I'm going in on Tuesday. If they announce a sporting director between Tuesday and Friday, I'll be fuming. I mean, they might do. I mean, they probably will. It'll be typical. I've been waiting so long for this to happen, and it might just happen in the few days after surgery, but I'm not sure what I'll be able to do. I'll try and figure it out. Fizz. Yes, Fizz. You just gifted 10 memberships. Who'd you get them? Who gave them to you? Oh, who gave them to you? Who'd you give them to?
I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell.
Yes, Fergie. Pro Hub, you've got one. Ryan Reynolds. What are you doing? The whole way from Wrexham over here. Harrison, Jason, Connor, and John all say thank you to Fizz. I think Harry, you sent a super chat. Youth is tough. You're saying your cousin Ben was in an academy. Talking about Preston North there, mate. Coming through the youth team is very, very tough. United, there's a couple of probably a nice little time to speak about this. Look at this for a record. No club to play in the Premier League has more goals by teenagers than Manchester United. None. It's the youth has been one of the foundations of our football club. And I'm so excited about this set of youngsters that are coming through right now. I was going to speak about it a little bit later in the show, but I'll speak about it now. Over here. This is first team training for ahead of the game this weekend. We scroll over here and we see a couple of new faces. That's Sam Mather, plays for the under-21s, and this right here is Harry Amass. Now, if you've not watched the under-18s, I haven't managed to catch a ton of games. I managed to watch a few of them. I watched the game against City recently. I watched some of the game against the Arsenal. Some of the Leeds game too. They're very, very impressive to watch. And Harry Amass is really one that has properly stood out. Now, this may well just be, all right, Eric Ten Hag giving Harry the opportunity to train with the first team, be in that environment, helps with the development. But he really, really does look like under 18s is kind of underneath. He's also got proper Jack Grealish calves. Look at this. Size of their bad boys. Anyway, it's exciting to see him there. And I know that so many people were upset about Alvaro Fernandez. And I thought of all the players I covered, I think 11 or 12 left on loan. Actually, no, there was another 4 random announcements, but I think they're players that actually stay at the club and play with under-21s. So it's slightly different. And so many people were upset about Alvaro Fernandez. Harry and Mass, again, some United have made some excellent youth team signings, and Harry Mass was bought in the summer from Watford. Really is looking like a very good prospect. I'm going to do a short video on him, and he's going to be one of the videos that I do with Academy Arena United. You know him? Fantastic United Academy account. Me and him are going to do 4 or 5 chats, and one of those chats is specifically going to be about Harry Mass. So you'll find out a lot more information from that video. What else are you saying down here? Let's get some comments from Facebook. Seeing as Facebook comments are working today. If you can, ladies and gents, can you drop a like on the video? It does make a big, big difference to the community. Let's try and make United People's TV the biggest and the best, and then we can get access to interview some players. That would be awesome. Field, you're saying Ratcliffe's going to bring back Manchester United to the glory days. I hope so. We all do. Jonathan, you're saying Matha scored 4 goals a couple of games ago. He did. I can't remember who it was against. The under-21s is such a rubbish league. Sometimes there's not a game for ages. The under-18s is at least a competitive league where there's constant games. The under-21s is like you can go ages without even playing. It's ridiculous. Let's move on to this talking point, and what I would say is probably the main talking point of the show today. Old Trafford, right? As I said, Ratcliffe is somebody who is moving rapidly. He really is. He wants to move quickly on the Old Trafford development as well. And look, when you read all that there, you go, bloody hell, there's a lot to do. Because he will have to seek the opinions of fans, local residents, regulatory bodies, Trafford Council, private investors, maybe the UK government. I'm not surprised there. I think I said this to you. I had 8 years in my head. It really wouldn't surprise me. I do not know what the right answer is, because some people might say, I've seen it. We had this conversation yesterday. I said, like, give me a stadium you genuinely think that United could use if Old Trafford was to be redeveloped. And the best answer you could come up with was maybe Bolton's. Capacity at Old Trafford is 75,000. Bolton's 26. So that's 50,000 seats you're losing. A lot of season ticket holders you're going to have to ostracise. Sod knows how you do that. I'll go to Wembley. It's not happening. You're not going to move a home ground 200 miles away. It's such a difficult conversation. I don't know what the right answer is, I'll be completely honest. But I want to speak about this because I think this is a very interesting conversation. Manchester United fans want shares in the club to realise Sir Jim Ratcliffe's Old Trafford vision, because we've spoken about how do you finance it. Truth be told, there is some form of financing has to happen. There will not be a £1 to £2 billion cheque coming from Jim Ratcliffe. It's not happening. Get out of your head. It's not going to happen. So how do you finance it? Of course, you can get loans, but that means debt. So what about the conversation around fan involvement? Now, you'll remember when the Super League happened. I remember doing that. That's still the video I think I'm most proud of on United People's TV. My video I did after the protest. That sort of narration story that I did. I love doing that. I love doing those sorts of things. And that's when the conversation around 50+1 model came in. Now, what is 50+1? 50+1 is the ownership model in Germany, which means that fans own 50% plus one of the football club, aka the majority of every football club is owned by fans. And it doesn't matter how much you get from outside investment, the maximum they could own is 49%, which of course then keeps the club within, not control of the fans, but it's fan ownership. That's the dream situation, but I don't think that's ever going to happen at Manchester United. But what do you think about this conversation, right? This is Duncan Drasdo. I think he's president of Must. This is what he said. He goes, while the new share issue that came with the Ratcliffe investment is relatively small, it establishes the principle of fan ownership. We'd like to see that explored as a primary source of new funding and ideally shares also being made available to United's global fan base to own a piece of their club and provide part of the funding required to take the club back to the top. So I'm going to ask you down here in the comments. Actually, I'll do a poll because I can do a poll from the same screen now. Upgrades. Would you buy shares in United if that money went towards a new stadium? That's the question I want to ask you in the comments. Of course, this is just a sort of a pipe dream conversation, but I think it's an interesting conversation because the money is going to have to be financed from somewhere. So if you got the opportunity to, whether it was £1, whether it was £5, whether it was 10 grand, I don't know how much money you got. I don't know how much. Would you? So the concept in my head of how it would work would be Manchester United created X amount of new shares and they sold X shares for X price. And all that money that equity that was created through selling off those shares is then put towards building a new stadium. That would then dilute the ownership of the Glazers at Manchester United because you're releasing new shares. In much the same way they did that with that, and that's what the conversation is here. Ratcliffe is given an extra $300 million investment, and he got new shares given to him for that, which increased his ownership and decreased the Glazers. I'm gonna go down here and see what you're saying in the comments. I think it's a pretty cool idea, if I'm honest. And Mustin and United fans in general have been pushing for some form of fan ownership for a long time. Remember the Glazers promised it. I think they promised it after the Super League and like sweet FA happened, like properly FA happened. Richard, you're saying Sam Sky News are talking about approaching the government. Yeah, I think that's part of like the levelling up pledges. I think when it comes to regeneration of any area, there can be some involvement and aid from the government. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments. Right, let's have a look. I haven't bought merch in 18 years. I wouldn't give them... I'm not going to end that comment. So you wouldn't then. Sam owned 1,000 shares. We had to sell them to the Glazers. Compulsory buyout in 2005. Grim. Don't think that can happen now. You know how when you got to... I think previously when you got to 70%... Well, there was a certain percentage. I think it was 70. That's the one that the Glazers went over when you get to the compulsory order. I don't think that exists anymore. Sam, man, you're saying if the price is reasonable, then definitely. When will the shares be sold? I can't wait to buy, says Imole. Who's on Facebook? Let's have a quick look at some of your comments. David would be more inclined to buy it if it was bringing Old Trafford down and building it up. And building it back up in a heartbeat. Okay. Jonathan saying, I'll go every game and Old Trafford's dilapidated. Well, that's not really what you're saying down there. Majority of you are saying yes, but not everybody. I think my natural instinct would be, yeah, definitely, absolutely. Of course it would. But I suppose it would come down to whether there was any sort of... Would power even matter? I suppose. I don't know. I mean, it's a sort of like, remember Thomas Iliakis? Oh man, I'm so glad that the last 12 months are over. The amount of stuff we covered on here that was just like, really? Really? Yes, Jason, you are a legend. You're up there. You're the latest member. That's what that shows now. And it's really annoying because up there, the legends area is what I wanted to have set out for those who gift memberships. Because I think you really are legends for helping the community grow. But as it stands, YouTube don't separate. You can't create a label just for gifted memberships. It's gifted memberships and anybody who's a new member. You can't separate them. Really annoying. So yeah, Jason, you are the latest legend. You are the latest member on United People's TV. Anyway, Thomas Idiakis, he was saying, look, if every fan gave $10, then we'll take over straight away. I was like, mate, that sounds like a Ponzi scheme. But if there was a way for United fans to genuinely get part of the club, and for that, if there was a guarantee that that money would go towards redeveloping Old Trafford and that the Glazers could not touch it legally, I think there's a conversation a lot of United fans would be interested in that. Man, this one's going to rumble on for a long time. What happens to Old Trafford? Is it a new stadium? Is it a rebuild? Hand on heart, I don't think it's a rebuild. That's just a personal prediction. Not necessarily. I'm trying to think of what I want. I would love Old Trafford to be fully redeveloped, renovated, and brought into the 21st century. I just don't think it's going to be feasible on the scale that it really is required. Phil's saying stay in Old Trafford, redevelop one stand at a time. That's possible, mate. The scale of that is just... There is no right... At this moment in time, there is no right or wrong answer. I'm sure that fans will be asked for their opinions. I'm sure that, local, as was written there, right, all the people that have to be spoken to about this, fans, local residents, regulatory bodies, traffic council, everybody. It's going to be a fascinating situation that we watch happen in real time, I suppose. I just, my personal hunch, which is just a personal opinion, right? So don't shoot me. I don't think it's going to be feasible to renovate Old Trafford to the levels that you want it to. I think if Manchester United were to renovate Old Trafford, I think in 15 years' time, they'll go, balls. Got to do something else now, don't we? And I don't think they'd spend... It would be... By doing that, I think you would placate a lot of fans now that would want that, but I don't know whether it will be the most long-term sustainable move for our football club. Because I think further down the line, you'd still have to eventually... Whether you do it now, or whether you do it further down the line, I think Manchester United will move to a modern, brand new stadium. That's just a personal opinion. And I think that the concept of a renovation of Old Trafford would be possible if over the last 18 years the Glazers haven't owned our club, and that we had every couple of years we had just progressively been doing bits, progressively been adding and improving. Whereas now it's like you haven't decorated your house indoors 15 years and you're like, nah, just move to a new one. That's what I think. I've got no idea. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be interesting watching what happens. I'm going to read some of your comments out down here. I think this is a really, I'm interested to know different opinions on it. Alex, you're saying new stadium needs to happen sooner rather than later. Jarl, you're saying with such an old building, it will continue to fall apart. So 800 million would quickly become. I think that's what, like, if anybody ever watched Grand Designs or anything like that, I'm not comparing it to Grand Designs, but have you ever watched it? They're called like money pits. It's like a house you buy that on the surface you got. It's like, I don't know. You ever watched Escape to the Chateau? Love that show. Dick, and I can't remember the name of his wife. She's got red hair. Can't remember her name. Anyway, they bought a chateau in France. It's like, look at it. Oh, it's glorious. And then you open the doors and you go, well, we got to spend money on that. And then as soon as you spend money on one thing, you go, well, I've also got to do that. Balls. Now that I've done that, I've got to do this. And then you start. And then you spiral and you snowball into a situation where you had a budget of X. And then 2 years down the line, you've got 5 mortgages and you're in debt up to your eyeballs because it's just done that. I imagine that's what probably would happen. Angel, there you go. I imagine that's the name of his husband. His wife, not his husband. That's what it feels like would happen at Old Trafford. And I'm talking about this from a completely non-technical and I suppose non-informed opinion. This is from the outside looking in. I don't actually know. So I might be wrong. But yeah, let's find out. Anyway, what did I want to speak about towards the end of the show? Oh, this is a cracker. That's a cracker. This. Look at that. Look who's at quarantine. Can I ask quickly, if there's anybody here who's new, welcome to United People's TV. I'm Sam. We're here every single day with what I would say is the best community in the world. If you can, please drop a like on the video and please subscribe. TY, you're the latest sub. How you doing? Harry Physique, thank you very much, Super Chats, dude. And who's the latest member? The name's just gone off screen. It's still Jason. Big up to you, Jason. Jordan, Dixon, old buddy from my military days, man. That guy's a don. He's the king geezer. If I manage to put a screw in something, I'm like, yeah, nice. That's enough geezer in today from me. That's enough geezer in today. He just goes and does everything. Don't know how he does it. Tom, you ledge. You just gifted 5 memberships. Who's the latest one? Sozo Christopher. You're up there now. Let's get the gong out. Timing was all over the shop there. That was terrible. Tom, you've been a hero today. Thank you very much, dude. Right, look at this. Imagine this, right? Ron Van Persie's. He's at Carrington. He's over there. And he's just have a conversation with Haaland. Man, what a year that was. That 2013 season, after losing the title on goal difference, I remember the emptiness. I just sank. It's like I was getting dragged down into a black hole. After that moment with City and QPR arseholes. Anyway, what a person to learn from for Rasmus Haaland. Now, Van Persie is not there to train Rasmus Haaland, but it can definitely be like an arm around the shoulder. You go, this is what you're doing. How you doing? Like some tips from Van Persie. And some of the finishing from Haaland, by the way, I think especially the Spurs one. I swear Van Persie scored a pretty damn similar goal. Like drifted onto his left foot and just rifled into the top of the net. Haaland scoring little scrappy ones where he's getting to the front post against Wolves. And then the goal against West Ham. Little feint onto his right foot from outside the box. He's scored a real nice variety of goals so far. Some scrappy. Some great. But what Manchester United need is a great goal scorer, not a scorer of great goals. Martial was capable of getting a banger. And it's just that 2019-20 season was when Martial started scoring like little touches at the front post. Stuff like that. Haaland's got that in his bag. And it was just what a person he would be to learn from, Van Persie. So he's doing his coaching badges right now. So it's not the first time he's been at Carrington. Might not be the last time either. Maybe at some point in time, we can get Ron Van Persie back at Manchester United as an attacking coach as he continues going through his badges. That'll be sweet. We've got Benny McCarthy there right now, don't we? Get Ron Van Persie in there as well. Let me see what you're saying. Jibak, thank you very much, dude. Man, everyone's so kind. Really, really are. This is what's allowing me to make the videos that I want to make. And I like to think that the videos that you really enjoy, the videos you just can't get on any other United channel. They just don't exist. But yeah, Van Persie back at the club as an attacking coach. Yes, please. Last couple of minutes of the show, you let me know what you think. And I'll give you a quick teaser, ladies and gents, of what is hopefully coming up tomorrow. Now, I wanted to do this last week, but it ended up being absolute carnage. So it wasn't actually possible. Let me pull this over there. Hopefully tomorrow. Why don't that work? That's it. Tomorrow, we should be getting the Discord live call-in started. All right. So tomorrow, if you're in the members gang, you'll be able to go into the waiting area there, and I'll be able to pull you into this channel one by one, and you can ask me your questions. Nobody can do it now because I'm going to leave the channel. But this will hopefully be the beginning of the live call-ins on here. I've been wanting to do these for a good long time, and I know loads of you have been asking for it. And this is kind of the big reason why one of the big reasons why I had to move across to this new software, because I just couldn't do this on the last stuff. There was so many more engaging things I wanted to do that I couldn't do. But this is going to be the big one. So hopefully this works tomorrow. It might not. Probably won't, no my luck. But that's what I'm going to really try tomorrow. I wanted to do this last week, but yeah. As you saw last week, it ended up being a little bit of a madness. What's up? We've got 1,300 watching, only 300 likes. It's come on 1,000 of you peeps. Just drop a like on it. Drop a like on it. Richie saying, Sam, when are you going to tell us about the big event happening? What's the big event? I've already told you a big event is happening on Tuesday. We've unfortunately only got 2 live shows left before I go in for that surgery. So we better enjoy it tomorrow. And fingers crossed on Monday we can come in after beating Villa. I think it's going to be a cracking game on Sunday. Really do. You know Villa are going to play with that high line. You know they're going to play with a dangerously high line. You know that if United can exploit it properly, are going to create a lot of higher class chances. But look, Henrik saying as long as people don't try and sing. I can't stop people singing, but I can just boot them out. Let's go back and look at this before we finish the show, right? I asked you this question. I said, if you were given the opportunity, would you buy shares in Manchester United if that money would just go towards renovating Old Trafford, right? 550 votes and 84% of you are saying yes, you would do that. I think I would as well. I'd obviously need to know a load more information about it. Scaramanga, the latest member. Scaramanga, was he a villain in Bond? I think he was. Ricky, you're asking about updating the emojis. I got those custom drawn by an artist. So no, I haven't done that because I had to pay for it. It wasn't cheap. But I need to update them. Man with the golden gun. There you go. I thought he was. I like the old James Bond films. Although, right, which one are you choosing as your favourite Daniel Craig? What's your favourite Daniel Craig Bond film? I mean, it's obviously Casino Royale. Anybody else who says anything is wrong. So nobody say anything apart from Casino Royale, because if you do, you're completely wrong. Ian, you're wrong. Skyfall's very good, but it's Casino Royale. Joey, you're right. We can stay friends. Nathan, you're right. We can stay friends as well. What was the one that was bad? Quantum of Solace, I think. That was a bar. Oh. Skyfall is banging, though. But it's easily Casino Royale, man. Piro saying, not a big fan of Daniel Craig. Come on, man. Daniel Craig is... I honestly think there's an argument for Daniel Craig as... am I going to say that? I genuinely think that you could put him as an argument of him as the best Bond. I think Pierce Brosnan is the one that in my mind's eye, he is James Bond. And, well, Sean Connery was the OG. But I might go watch one. Might go watch Casino Royale later. Anyway, random little conversation about James Bond here. Junior, yeah, but look, you mentioned there the new stadium name, New Old Trafford. Well, no, you just called it New Trafford. Old Trafford to New Trafford. You can see the plan. You can see the stadium name. You can see everything, and people would love it. It's not the world map today. It's world map on Friday. All right. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining it. And I tell you what, I knew I had a good feeling. That right there was the first show that we've done that wasn't chaos on this new software, right? I knew I had a good feeling. Let's see if the same thing happens tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be, I'm sure there's going to be things that break here 24/7. But this is what you do. It was worth the effort. Thank you all for sticking with me. I'll be here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Today, you might get a treat. Undecided. Lunchtime video is going to be all about Garnacho and his development this season. I'm going to pick out some key tactical points of things he's doing now that he wasn't doing last season. Elements where he's really developed his game. And I'm not just talking about him playing on the right wing. But I might also drop later a video on Omar Barada and an interview he did with the Financial Times where he really gives some genuine insight into what he's doing. We'll run through that. Big up to everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Take it easy.